Welcome back to St Anne's here in Higher Openshaw. I have come across something this week which I'd like to share with you. I was on one of the forums, one of the many forums that are out there, and something caught my eye. This was an article written by a young girl about the inspiration that Pope Francis has had on her life. And I'd like to read you, it's only short, I'd like to read you this to see what you think. I went to confession on Saturday. I think the last time I celebrated the sacrament in a traditional Saturday afternoon setting was more than a decade ago. When someone asked me why I was going, the answer was simple. I was compelled to go because of the Pope. Not because Pope Francis has asked Catholics to get back into the confessional, but because his recent interviews and heartfelt actions as a pastor-in-chief have moved me and want me to be a better person and more fulfilled, a better practicing Catholic. I felt like I'd not only be given hope for the Church, but a challenge for myself. To be clear, I haven't been totally absent from the sacrament of reconciliation, but my primary experience in the past many years has been communal penance services. These liturgies can be moving and are certainly efficient and convenient for all involved. They can be less intimidating for people who have not received the sacrament in a while, so I can understand why they are being offered. Yet I never felt quite complete after a penance service. It was like something essential was missing. But I couldn't tell you what. Perhaps it was due to the cattle call sensation of the whole thing. Hundreds of people with half a dozen priests at a service that starts at 7:30 p.m. on a school night. Folks are in a hurry, even if their best intention is not to be. And I'm not certain contrition can be rushed. But in my life, regular confessional offerings, the late Saturday afternoon type, were very inconvenient. Like many Catholics, I preferred my faith practice fit around the rest of my life, not the other way round. Until Saturday. Saturday, I arranged the rest of my life around a sacrament. And I'm telling you, it was really good. That article, as I said, was something that caught my eye during the week. And I thought it was very inspirational, very brave of a young girl to write that article. But the thing that really amazed me about it was the response to the article. Some positive, but most quite negative. And the negativity wasn't about the particular, the girl going to confession. It was much more about, well, the Pope hasn't done this, and I'd have got on the Pope's bandwagon if he'd have done that. And it's about time the Pope told the bishops and the clergy this, and. There were so many, it was absolutely horrifying to see. I feel that the Pope is trying to do what Christ himself did, and that is to reach out to people. To reach out to people, to bring them back to God. And no matter how good, bad or indifferent you might feel about your own priest, in his own way, he too is trying to reach out to people. And you must remember that some priests are hurt. They are broken people just like the rest of us. Not that I'm defending bad priests or bad practice from priests. We all try to do our best to be as Christ-like as we can be. But I do feel that people need to take a step back and not to look at the priests or the bishops or even the Pope himself, but rather to look at the message of Christ. Christ's message is there for everyone. endearing people to what is good in our world. The whole idea of coming together as a church is to be the family of God. And I know I'm preaching, I can hear it in my own head, but I do find it sad that people who have somehow, like the girl in this article, have all of a sudden found great joy again in her religion, in her Catholicity, and just is so bubbling with joy that she wants to share that with the world. Just get stamped on by so many people who seem to be bitter. I'm not going to say twisted, but certainly bitter people out there who aren't willing to engage in what the church is trying to offer. The church is made up of human beings. We are all good, bad, and indifferent in all our lives. But what we should try and do is to pool our goodness together in Christ, to be the family of God. I'm sorry if this is a bit of a preaching, but when I first read the article of that young girl, felt incredibly inspired. My whole heart leapt. And then as I read some of the replies to it, that kind of euphoria was diminished quite considerably. But all I can say to her is this: God bless her, and thank God that she has found in the church, through the inspiration of our Holy Father, the time to form her life around a sacrament. It's a true blessing, and she can be an inspiration to us all, as can the Holy Father. Whatever happens, whatever inspiration we find, or wherever we find it, it's to Christ that we are taken, and through Jesus to his Father in heaven. God bless us all for all of those times in our lives when we feel inspired by someone or by something that unites us and gets us closer to God. I'll stop now. Until next time, God bless us all.